everything that I talk to today is geared to the men. And today I want to talk about it's okay not to be okay. It's okay not to be okay. All the men in here, or ladies, I need you to understand that you need to allow men to know it's okay not to be okay. You know, let me give you a backstory of who I am. My mom and dad, I've been married for 64 years before they passed. My hero is my father. He has now gone to be with the Lord. He showed me an example that allowed me to see that, we people talk about, these things now, emotional intelligence. That's one of the things that everybody talks about now, emotional intelligence. And before it was in a book, my dad displayed it for me. I began to see what my mistakes were. I've been now married for 21 years. I've been in a relationship with my wife for 34 years. I was incarcerated for 4 years. And out of all of the things that my dad taught me, I had to understand, like, wow, you know what I'm saying? And all that stuff that you taught me, and I still messed up. I still messed up. But nobody allowed you to know it's okay to be okay. One of the things when we talk about it's okay not to be okay, you need to allow everybody to understand. Um, you need to allow everybody to understand that, ladies, if a man, um, you want him to be strong. Your expectations for him is to be strong, but at what cost? At what cost? At what cost? When is it okay for men not to be okay? I look at there is a short clip that I think it was NBA Today had with an interview with Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson. And one of the things with Magic said that he was wrong. Um, that he was wrong. He said that, um, you know, I'm sorry. And men don't talk about that. We don't talk about where we're wrong because we're in a survival mode. And a lot of ladies say, they're just not. How do they say it? They relate to me. I need him to be emotionally available. I need him to be available. It's not that he doesn't want to be available. Um, are you providing a place for him to be available? And for us as men, you know, we're always in protection mode of our manhood. We're always in protection mode of our manhood. And why I want to speak to men today, because we talk about mental health all the time. Mental health has so many aspects to it, but nobody allows us to know it's not okay to be okay. Um, the thing about what I'm talking about today is, uh, have an atmosphere that is conducive for men to open up to you. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not by saying, "Oh, I'm here. I want you just share with me. You share with anybody else. Share with me." No, just create the atmosphere. Once you create the atmosphere, everything else can be done. And for men, I want y'all to understand, man, it's okay to be okay. It's okay not to be okay. Um, you know, One thing that I know in the Word of God, it talks about in Galatians. In Galatians, Paul was talking. Paul was talking to to them, and Paul said, you know, we all talk about the law, the law, and the law talked about circumcision. Um, and if you're not certified, I mean, if you're not circumcised, that means that the Jews will not accept you. So it was just all things going on. And a lot of times as men, we replace circumcision with egotism. We don't say that, but that's what we think. So when my boy asks me, man, how you doing? The first thing, I'm good, bro. You understand what I'm saying? I'm fighting that frame. That's one of the things that we say. We say, I'm fighting the frame, bro. And we leave it at that. And if you fighting, you got to be fighting something. So why not talk and let's strategize to see how we're going to fight that? Because we don't make an atmosphere that says that it's okay not to be okay. You know, um, and I say this because I want y'all to understand right here. 1 Corinthians, the 12th chapter, starting in the 21st verse. This is what it says. It says, the eye cannot say to the hand, I don't need you. And the head cannot say to the feet, I don't need you. On the contrary, those parts of the body that seem to be weaker are indispensable. And the parts that we think are less honorable, we treat with special honor. And the parts that are unpresentable are treated with special modesty, while our presentable parts need no special treatment, but God has put the body together, giving greater honor to the parts that lacked it. Listen, he says the parts that are not presentable need no special treatment. And we begin to be thinking these things because of how our minds are. How our minds are. Your mental health is a big deal. Don't take it for granted. That's it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? It's a big deal. But we have to make these atmospheres conducive that people can come out with mental health and say that, it's okay not to be okay. The majority of times we as men, we always want to try to fix things ourselves. So, and he says, while our presentable parts need no special treatment, but God has put the body together, giving greater honor to the parts that lacked it. So there should be no division in the body, men. There should be no division with each other. He said, but that it parts should have equal concern for each other. I don't care who we are as celebrities. I don't care who we are as friends. We need to understand that there should be no bigger me than you. No bigger I than you. And this is what gets me, that really gets me in First Corinthians, the 12th chapter and the 26th verse. It says, if one part suffers, every part suffers with it. If one part is honored, every part rejoices with it. If one of us is suffering, men, that means all of us suffer. But the thing about it is we suffer in silence. So when we don't say to one another, man, it's okay not to be okay. There's I had some mentors, some mentees of mine that say, man, my grandfather showed me how to be a man. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of the times when we talk about what being a man is, what entails that is a lot of suffering. I say it all the time, and I talk about these stats. Suicide are committed by not just ethnicities, but men. Who we are, genderized, we're men. So we commit all of the suicides because we internalize these things and we don't make it all right not to be all right, because we have to exude strength. Talking back to what Paul was talking about in Galatians, and he talked about circumcision, and um, we have adopted uh, egotism. So, our egos is what we hold near and dear to us, but that's not what we say, but that's what we do. We don't make it all right not to be all right. And getting back to what I was telling you about the one of my mentees, one of the things he said, my grandfather told me, my grandfather told me, my dad showed me how to be strong, but he didn't say it with words. He said it with actions. He said what he allowed in the relationship that me and him had. It was okay to not always get it. Um, he shared with me his flaws. A lot of people always talk about, I want to read a quote. Marshall McLuhan said, "Our age of anxiety is in great part, all right? Our age of anxiety is in great part the result of trying to do today's job with yesterday's tool. Trying to do today's job with yesterday's tool." We have to understand that exhibiting the strength that our grandfathers and fathers did, you can see where it didn't bode well for this generation. And I say so because 8 of every 10 suicides are committed by men. When we think about that, and you know, more, all of the young ladies, I want to find me a good man, you know, and a lot of times we're bleeding. We bleed on the inside. We bleed on the inside because, you know, first thing is first, we don't make it okay not to be okay. Not in public forums, not in private forums. We don't make it okay not to be okay because the first thing that we do is we look at him. Something wrong with him. And that's the thing that I need y'all to understand, men. It's okay not to be okay. Um, you know, um, Galatians, the 6th chapter, the first verse, this is what it says. It says, "Brothers and sisters, if someone is caught in a sin, you who live by the Spirit should restore that person gently." Listen, and there's certain ways when we talk about how do we approach situations that men are going through. It's very delicate, even though that we're strong. It's very delicate. Brothers and sisters, if you're caught in sin, it said those who live by the Spirit should restore that person gently. Not when they're not okay. You say, man up. No, bro, you need to listen. You need to listen and let's talk. If you need a sounding board, listen. I got a brother of mine, man, and I don't, people say, you don't eat pork. Yeah, I don't eat pork. I don't eat pork. I don't eat pork. Am I a Muslim? No, I'm not a Muslim. But this is why, and I'm gonna share this with you. The reason why I don't eat pork is because when I left prison, I left a lot of men back there that was the most intelligent men that I've ever met in my life. And I've been in an institution of higher learning, and I've been in an institution of incarceration. So what happened was, I said to myself, I made a pact with myself and God. I said, Lord, you know, I, I'm going to abstain from pork in the honor of them, because no one is going back to them. And I've seen them. I did what I could while I was in there with them. I listened a lot. I learned so much. And I don't eat pork in honor of them. This is what I choose to do. That was me honoring them. And I listened to them, and they told me about myself. They told me, like, yo, dude, you should not be in here, X, Y, and Z. But they did it. As I listened to them, they listened to me. And this is what the Bible is trying to tell us in Galatians 6:1. It says, brothers and sisters, if someone is caught in sin, you who live by the Spirit should restore that person gently. Listen, this is what it says afterwards. It says, but watch yourselves, or you may be tempted by that same sin. How many of us pass judgment and don't make it okay to be okay, and then the next week we're going through the same thing, and because we didn't make it okay not to be okay in the last time, now we don't feel as though that we can bring it to anybody, and we implode. Look at the notable people who kill themselves. If you know anything about football, Junior Seau, his personality was illuminating, light up a room. He was a great teammate. He took life. In the first instance, he didn't. We don't make it okay not to be okay, but we make it okay in the memorial. In the memorial, same thing with Robert Williams. These men kill themselves. And listen, I have a friend of mine um, that I always go back to when he took his life, and what could I have done differently? And I like, what could I have done? And a lot of times we need to understand that making an atmosphere that conducive that you can come and talk to me, man. That because we don't always get it right, and a lot of times we don't get it right. We don't get it right because we don't always get it right, but we don't share that we don't get it right. Nobody talks about that middle place. Me, my wife, and I talked about that as Christians. Nobody talks about the struggle, in a God. When people look at me and they look at who I am and what I offer, um, um, this is. I'm sorry to hear that, Kenneth. Hey, good morning, Sean. We don't make it okay to not be okay. You know, when we're having problems, Shaq shared something about him and Shanice. How he messed up, how he did this. He cheated on her. It was his fault. You know, and sometimes when I'm telling single ladies, I'm telling single ladies of what you need to find out in men. I got some men coming. Oh man, you a simp, yo, bro. It's okay not to be okay. I don't care really how you feel about me, but what I really know is I need to do what I should do. I need to do what I should do, and that's a part of my purpose. But you know, we have to know that wherever you are in your life, it's not linear. Life is not linear. You're not going to pass this thing and not pass it again. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? You're not going to pass this thing and not pass it again. You will. I don't care who you are. You know, Jesus wasn't tempted just once. Jesus went and when he fasted, when Jesus fasted and came down, he was attempted as soon as he came down. Jesus was also tempted when he was on the cross. Circular. How he handled that, he handled when he was on the cross the same way. So it's okay not to be okay, man. Ladies, listen. If your man is to the point, and I want to say this, and I need y'all to hear me. I don't um, uh, advocate for this, but when Shaq shared that he cheated, um, we have some broken places in our lives. Why we make the decisions that we make, why we speak to you the way that we speak to you sometimes. There's broken places in our lives, fragmented places, and especially and I'm saying it, especially as a black man, um, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. Y'all understand that. Not only is it frustrating, um, oh gosh, y'all. Sorry. Sorry, TikTok. Sorry, TikTok. Somebody just I don't know. But listen, not only is frustrating at times when we feel as though that we're trying our hardest is debilitating. So we get to the point as if like it don't even there's no need to even try again. And if you see that in your man or your brother or your father, um, the best thing that you can do is lend ear to them. Kenneth, there's a young man on Facebook said that he's burying a male cousin today who committed suicide. Just sit here, in this conversation. I gave you statistics. Now I'm giving you real life results. Some man committed suicide today. He committed suicide today. And when we talk about it being emotionally available, we don't, in order for us to start being emotionally available, we got to talk about things like this. It's okay not to be okay. You don't have to be perfect. You don't always have to man up. Look, let me tell you something. Manning up sometimes more so is assessing yourself and where you are. And ladies, if a man say, look, I'm not ready for a relationship right now. That's what's wrong with men right now. They ain't ready for a relationship. They children. They so, you know, when we take that, we take that seriously. So a lot of times men are like, ain't no need for me to be. I'm gonna have fun because they ain't gonna take me seriously anyways. Is do you ever is it ever okay for a man to tell you that he's not ready for a relationship and you respect his decision without ridiculing him? That's a question I want to ask all of the ladies. Is it ever okay for a man to say I'm not ready and be honest with you and you respect his decision without ridiculing him because you want what you want? I'm saying a lot of times you don't. You know, I know I gave y'all a whole slew of things, but listen, I need y'all to understand. Um, See where in Galatians they talked about circumcision, men have took on egotism, and we take it to the next level, and we think that is, you know, you know, those are things that are not said, but these are what we feel as though that we have to be. We have to be strong. We have to be strong in such a way that we don't need anybody, but everybody needs somebody. I don't care. I don't care who you are. We need somebody. You know, and one to understand uh, that men, we need to make it all right, not be all right. We need to do that. We need to be able to talk to another man. Every man needs a man. I don't care what nobody says. Every man needs a man. This is why there's a disconnect when that when men come in a single parent home and it's the father. And when you talk about emotionally available, we weren't taught to be emotionally available, because what happens is that the same thing that you want from men is what single moms teach men. You got to be strong. You can't be strong. I'm not going to allow you to be this way right here, in a feminine voice. So we're confused at times. So men are confused at times. But we need to understand it's okay not to be okay. And make it, men, let me tell y'all, bro. Hey, Chris, let me tell you. Um, a lot of times we don't offer, um, you know, and, men are apprehensive because I'm apprehensive as well, to certain people. I've given, I believe that I've given my my life to a lot of, not life. I've given my time to a lot of people that took it for granted. But I was reading today. And he this is how he helped me. It was, oh my gosh. Y'all listen to this. And then I'm gonna go. Did y'all enjoy this? I hope that you did. Listen, Isaiah 58, verses 10 and 11, it says in the NIV, it says, and if you spend yourselves in behalf of the hungry, if you spend yourselves in behalf of the hungry and satisfy the needs of the oppressed, people who you don't believe deserve your time, that played you and did not even pay no attention to what you did for them, never appreciated. This is what the Bible tells us in Isaiah 58 and 10, verses 10 and 11. And if you spend yourself in the behalf of the hungry and satisfy the needs of the oppressed, then your light will rise in the darkness, and your night like noonday. The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. Listen, that showed me and told me right there that who we are as men and women of God, but who we are as men, I don't care who betrayed us. God said he got us. He said that in Isaiah 58, verses 10 through 11. He says, listen, your darkness is going to be like noonday. You will be the light in darkness. The Bible also tells us, be weary, be not weary in well doing. But we have to know it's okay not to be okay. We don't have to be perfect. You know, I think Escape got a song that who do I run to when I need love? Ladies, are you gonna be the one that allow men to run to you when they need love? Or you think, oh, you need to man up? I'm just saying. But men, I need you to understand. You know, hey Chris, what's going on? Chris, Kenneth, all of my men that are on here right now. You know, I talk about mentality. This is my brand. Outside of what we do as Marriage of God and Beta Bride, but you know, one of some business friends of mine told me to that I needed to make it more visible of what I do. That's why I came on here so early today to make sure to let you guys know mentality is what I do. I mentor men, and I deal with the mind of a man, the mind of a man, because I was one. You know, one of the things that caused me to be in prison for the time that I was in prison was that I was portraying something that I wasn't. I was portraying something that I thought that needed to be portrayed from high school or college, still trying to find myself. And when we understand that men try to find themselves, we don't have nobody in the car with us. So we drive a car without any navigation system, without the directions. Sometimes men need men. I don't care what nobody says. Men need men. I love you guys to life. May heaven smile upon you. And remember, always be a bridge and never a burden. Always be a bridge and never a burden. Be a bridge to whoever needs you to be that bridge, because this is what Christ has called us to be, bridges and never burdens. Bridges never burdens. And remember, only God loves you more than we do. Only God loves you more than we do. Take care, be blessed. I pray that this blesses you on today. To God be the glory. Hey, Rico Fresco, that's my son. So you guys be blessed. May heaven smile upon you on TikTok. Yo, all right. You guys be blessed. Talk with you later. Bye bye.